Congratulations, class of 2023. Today it is my privilege to welcome you to the distinguished community of ID alum. Now you're our peers and creative accomplices, and we're thrilled to bring you into our fold. We're going to sponge those big, beautiful minds of yours and look to you to help us navigate what comes next into design. In this alum community, and I see many of them here today, you will see folks that have shaped their own paths, navigated many different evolutions of design, and confronted different technology disruptions. I'd be amiss, I'm going to mention AI once, and then that's it today. So, in my own time since graduating ID 20 years ago, this group has become my best friends, my confidants, my fellow faculty members, recruiters, and mentors. Though it's a community that has spanned many eras, we all share the same ethos and guiding principles that we learned here at ID. Look around at this room, see where you are at this moment and who is around you. I was in those chairs, not exactly those chairs, and another one in a building a little further north, but we are all connected, everyone in this room. Now, I would also be short-sighted not to recognize and welcome the loved ones of our graduating class here today. You, too, are part of a long-standing community of folks that gave words of support and encouragement in some of their darkest days at the school. And now you too are going to join yet another long-standing community, those of the loved ones, spouses, partners that wonder, what is this career ahead? And if it's any comfort, my parents are still puzzled why I travel the globe to draw pictures. So now back to our class of 2023 here. Candidly, I'm here on a mission. And that is, I am here to recruit you as human-led leaders. Before I become besieged with resumes, this is an opportunity beyond Deloitte. This is an open call, much more broadly. Every Fortune 500, nonprofit, government agency, startup, all need human-led leaders. And I've not made it a secret, as Anijo, you pointed out, that I want to put more creative mindsets and empathetic leaders in the C-suite. And why is that? Because this is the moment. There has never been a moment of more complex problems looking for more humanity. Logic will only get us so far in this journey. I recently was sitting next to a high-profile CMO of a global bank, and she turned to me and said, there is no going back now from empathetic leadership. So this starts with you. Before I detail the job description, which I know you all are exhausted by looking at right now, let me assure you that you already have a jump start on all the qualifications, because you got them here. As you set out to be a human-led leader, it's much more than launching a product. It is that, and it's more. All of the skills you've acquired here are relevant to that. ID is just simply about looking at them in a different context. ID will change how you see the world and lead. You've acquired more than a toolbox for solving problems. Frameworks, analytical tools, and research methods are all that foundational muscle that will make you an exceptional human-led leader. Not a day goes by that I don't consciously or unconsciously put what I've learned at this institution to use, sometimes in some unexpected ways. So I'm going to give you guys, with this job opening of human-led leader, I'm going to give you 3 qualifications you already have and 3 challenges moving forward. And I can't resist pointing out, it's a 3x3. I'm sure by the time I'm done with this talk, someone would have drawn a diagram. So let's start off with the qualifications. And again, you've already had these imparted here in the Institute of Design. 1, understand behaviors 2, navigate ambiguity, and 3, reframe the problem. So let's talk a little bit about the understand behaviors. In this moment, to truly solve the problems of humanity, we need to aspire to encourage people to lean in to those behaviors that are beneficial to them and society more broadly. We understand behaviors and people's motivation, so we can guide our peers, our friends, to seize the opportunity and look for more ways to act positively in the world. The second one, navigate ambiguity. Every project here has a certain degree of unknown. And every decision, even the decision to come here, required a bit of leap of faith and probably some buy-in from your loved ones. But truthfully, that ambiguity doesn't diminish. In fact, it grows exponentially. It's everything from navigating the unknown element of your career, team pivots, acquisitions, just to name a few. I guarantee you there will be a moment one of your team members will ask you a question in which you don't have the answers. Yet you do know how to help them lean in and see the promise of that future tomorrow, to navigate that ambiguity. Truthfully, ID helped me prepare for probably one of the most ambiguous moments of my own personal life outside of work. So in late March 2020, and I'm sure everyone's like, okay, that was the time that we were all hit with the unknown aspect of COVID. I actually walked into NYU Hospital 38 weeks pregnant. And for record, that was the historic worst week in New York City. The entire medical team and I, right, we were in uncharted waters. So much was not known about COVID. And yes, in one moment when faced with a hard decision during the labor experience, I did ask for a whiteboard. So again, ID comes in all kinds of unexpected ways. So the last qualification that I have for my unofficial job description for you is your ability to reframe or look at problems differently. I will warn you that your loved ones will find this annoying. And you think it's endearing. But it will be your superpower in every team, board, and conference room. So those are 3 of probably many more qualifications that you've acquired here to set you up for success as a human-led leaders. Now, and honestly, those probably feel really natural and working on projects, but they're far wider reaching skills than projects alone. They're jump starts to great leadership. So now for the 3 challenges. 1, embrace divergence. 2, recognize our privilege. And 3, lean into the journey. So seek divergence in your inner circle. And here at ID, we've often talked about the exponential power and impact of bringing teams of human-centered designers to solve problems. So I think oftentimes the assumption is that to succeed, we need to surround ourselves with like-minded people. In my own career journey, truthfully, I would say yes and. I've had the benefit of working with those that have come from business and engineering schools. Very different cultures. Candidly, I would not be the chief design officer without people with those backgrounds, in particular 2 individuals. They never attended a design class. And yet, we've learned so much from one another. 4 years ago, I took those 2 to a bar, and I shared with them my big, daunting, wild ambition to be a partner at a consulting firm where you could literally count on your hands how many had a creative background. And then, also, at the same time, my desire to be a single mother by choice. And those things were going to have to be pursued in parallel. Now, fast forward to this fall, when again I raised the aspirations higher to be the second only in history, chief design officer and the first woman to do so. And in both of those instances, because I had brought Amelia and Jeff into my inner circle, they wrapped their arms around my aspiration, made it their own, and helped me navigate, honestly, a course that I didn't know how to proceed. So I would encourage you all to celebrate the diversity of thinking. Draw in the people that think differently. You'll help them achieve wild, ambitious things on their own, and vice versa. The second challenge I have for you all is to recognize our privilege. To be a human-led leader, we need to consider lived experiences beyond our own. Coming to this amazing graduate program is a privilege in and of its own that not everyone can do. Give your microphone to someone else. This is different than giving voice to others. Give your microphone. Never before has it been so needed and evident that we need to give opportunities to others that otherwise would not have them. To solve the most difficult challenges in our next evolution, we need people with diversity to make those decisions. Lastly, last challenge, you all, and this honestly is my hardest and still in progress challenge. Because the truth is, to be a human-led leader, it's relentless. It simply does not take a break. Yes, the rewards are tremendous, the impact is deep. Yet it's a constant high bar that you set yourself up against and others hold you up to. Tomorrow, you will not wake up as a human-led leader. It is a process and an evolution. Finding the authentic, vulnerable you will take time. And you also have to be kind to yourself and forgive your stumbles. Honestly, I almost scrapped this talk a few days ago because I had an interaction that caused me to question my own self-view as an authentic leader. And he was absolutely right, this individual. I could have been better in that moment. Yet one interaction doesn't subtract all other efforts. Learn from your mistakes. Being a true human leader is to own them. It sounds a little reductive, but be human about being a human-led leader. So these three challenges, they might feel big. They're not going to be solved overnight. But it is a process you know well of iteration, collaboration, reflection, and stumbles. This program has given you all of the tools, frameworks, and approaches that you need to tackle them. So in closing, when you go upstairs, look deeply at the work on those walls. They will give you a glimpse of the big hearts, toned brain muscles, and attuned ears of our future design-led leaders. Thank you, Anisha, for the very kind and generous offer to talk today. I could not be more proud to welcome this class as human-led leaders to set out and disrupt the typical norms. We will be a better world for it. Thank you.